All right, so let's take it one step at a time. I mean, you just addressed some of the reactions this project has generated because I was going to take you up. I wanted to have your reaction to some of the statements flying out there. Now, let's talk about the key takeaways from the president's trip to the Netherlands and Saudi Arabia, particularly the Nigerian Dutch Business and Investment Forum. Talk to us about the collaboration and partnerships, especially in agriculture and water management resources.
Thank you very much. So we were very pleased that once again, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, representing the interests of job seekers and obviously those who require an economy that is inclusive, where jobs are available, where taxes will be paid, where infrastructure is supported by an inclusive economy where all Nigerians are involved, saw that in his first leg of this two-part trip to the Netherlands and then the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we were able to secure an additional set of investments of $250 million that were stated by the Prime Minister, Mr. Mark Rutte, during the working visit of His Excellency, Mr. President, to the Prime Minister, at which I was fortunate to also be present along with other key members of the cabinet. Also, of course, the President didn't stop with just the engagement with the Prime Minister dealing with, multifarious bilateral issues of mutual concern. He would go on to obviously address and listen to the contributions of investors, Dutch investors at the Nigeria Dutch Business and Investment Forum. It was at that forum that a $100 million US investment was pledged by a waste to wealth company, citing their facility in Lagos State. They will essentially be dealing with recyclables and ensuring that those recycled materials that otherwise would have just laid fallow somewhere, polluting the environment, are now converted into products of economic value and utility. So that was done, and then we were able to advance discussions on several other new investment opportunities with respect to renewable energy, solid minerals, and some other critical sectors. Of course, there are certain investments that we are in the business of, making public investment pledges that have been pledged. Things that are being worked on will not be mentioned. So there are many things that obviously we cannot yet mention with respect to what the president was able to achieve in the Netherlands. Now, if you go on to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, of course, it's no secret. We reported on this very clearly that a shipping and logistics company that's well known, Maersk, finalized on their commitment, their pledge made by their chairman to the president of $600 million US to deal with reconstruction of facilities, terminal facilities, not just in One, but in Western Nigeria in the Lagos seaports, where they have a lot of interest. They foresee in that region alone over $500 million of investment. This has been an investment that we have been tracking with them, discussing with them for some time. But obviously, when the highest level of a global conglomerate is meeting with the highest level of executive authority of a nation, and that commitment is made once again, you can consider that commitment as solid as any. So we were able to report that. And then, of course, there were several other activities which we reported, some of which we are not yet ready to report simply because they had not reached an advanced stage of completion. So the president was able to achieve a lot for the country on these two trips. I think he has not stopped there. Even in his time of a bit of downtime to be able to just review his files, work in quiet, he has been meeting with major conglomerates such as MSC Shipping, who obviously has a great interest in the reform efforts of his administration with respect to the $1 billion seaport reconstruction plan, which is the ongoing reconstruction of eastern and western seaports across the country, ensuring that we can facilitate enhanced import-export flows in the country, into and out of the country, and reduce the cost for businesses operating in the country. So they have an interest in partnering with us there. And there are several other initiatives that the president is quietly working on in his downtime, that will be of interest to Nigerians when eventually they become public.
All right. Going by our last conversation on consumer credit system and the structure the president has put in place to ensure a smooth kickoff of this initiative, I remember you told me the first phase kicks off this month. Where are we on that? Any updates?
Absolutely. So we're really excited to share with our people this evening that we have seen tremendous, and we're not surprised by it, but we're certainly excited by it, because ultimately this is why government is in place, to put policies and programs in place that will make the lives of our people better. And so when we saw that after only 7 days of that portal being open following our announcement over the last 2 weeks or so, we were able to see in the first week alone a registration of over 1 million Nigerians, specifically 1.1 million Nigerians expressed their interest in consumer credit accession through the filling of the expression of interest form on the website, which also not only demonstrated to us the wide acceptability amongst our people of this innovative and historic consumer credit program brought by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but it also gave us some level of catalytic detail as to what the demographics are and what the numbers are and what the data is telling us with respect to who is interested in the consumer credit, what segments of the population, but also what specific segment of consumer credit are people interested in applying for. And this was really informative. So we were able to find that as in that first 7 days, as the 1.1 million Nigerian citizens expressed their interest. And by the way, if you take that to today, because we're about 2 weeks in now, the number is far larger. I'm only dealing with essentially April 24th to May 1st when I say the 1.1 million. But what we saw was the aggregate total consumer credit demand from the 1.1 million Nigerians who registered interest was 1.3 trillion naira. Right, out of the one, that's the total number of consumer credit that our people were asking for as they registered their expression of interest. Now, interestingly, as we broke down the numbers, we found that out of the 1.3 trillion that our people were requesting access to, it was predominantly made up of 85% of local government areas. So we had spread. This wasn't a situation where you had, 70% in major urban populations like Lagos, or 30% from major urban populations like in Port Harcourt, for example. What we actually saw, which was very interesting, was about 44% of all of the expression that was registered, interest that was expressed, was actually expressed from the Northwest geopolitical zone alone. 44% of the total from the Northwest alone. So we were quite amazed to see the level of interest across the country, across ethnic groups, across faiths, genders, and the like, and really being able to look at kind of who was interested and what they were interested in. Furthermore, what we found was because you had a fair, 85% of all of the 774 local government areas of the country represented in this pool of the initial, registrants who, applied with their expression of interest. What we also saw was the average demand, or the average request, rather, on the part of each individual citizen. We found that the average request was for an average of about 1.1 million naira per person. So obviously the numbers vary. One can ask for 100,000, one can ask for 10 million. But if you do the aggregate, if you look at the median, essentially what you're going to arrive at is 1.1 million naira being requested by each of the citizens who expressed their interest. And then furthermore, what we also found out through the portal was that out of the 1.1 million Nigerians who registered, that the average monthly income that was reported by those who registered their interest was 223,000 naira per month. So you had a cross-section of individuals. You had civil servants, you had self-employed, you had people in various sectors of the economy who are coming in saying, look, I'm interested in accessing this consumer credit. And what we're excited about is within the first 7 days, we've already surpassed all of our targets with respect to the kind of demand that we were anticipating. And fortunately for us, we never had any catastrophe with respect to whether or not our website or whether or not the portal would be able to take on all of the traffic and the demand. And I think that's one of the success stories that has been underreported, but something we're really proud of, especially as we work to scale it up over the next few months. So it's one thing to get the data. It's another thing entirely to begin the process of disbursement. Disbursement comes next in as part of phase one. After we're done with the disbursement of phase one over the next few months, we can now open the portal once again for phase two. So with respect to consumer credit, we have good news to report, and we're very much on course, and Nigerians have every reason to be excited about what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is providing in the form of consumer credit for the country.
All right, in less than 2 minutes, let me quickly take you up on the president's comprehensive plan to stimulate economic growth and create a conducive business environment for entrepreneurs nationwide. It's almost a year since the president assumed office. What interventionist measures are in place to energize and revitalize MSMEs? In less than 2 minutes.
Well, look, the president is not pitching. He's not giving a speech or pitching a program. What we are ready to report tonight is what the president has already done. What I mean by that is, obviously, we have had 200 billion naira worth of presidential intervention for micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises across the country, and I'm happy to report tonight that the presidential conditional grant scheme, again, these are grants, not loans. This is money our people will not have to pay back, is in full swing, where it is a program in which we are giving 50,000 naira to 1 million nano businesses across all local government areas of the Federation, down to the ward level. We've broken it down for equity of spread. The president is not favoring any part of the country. He is ensuring that out of that 50 billion naira, that it is divided by 1,290 beneficiaries per local government area to ensure that every local government area has an equal number of beneficiaries with respect to the nano businesses that will receive the 50,000 naira. And already we have passed the threshold of 600,000 nano businesses that have been reached with the alerts, with the digital transfers. So over 600,000 out of the 1 million have already received their money. The remaining 400,000 will receive their money by the end of this month. Mr. President, on May 29th, will be able to give a report to Nigerians that 1 million nano businesses did receive that money with no condition of returning that money to the federal government of Nigeria. Secondly, Mr. President has successfully implemented the MSME and manufacturing loan initiatives, which is part of that 200 billion naira portfolio of intervention. Essentially, I've dealt with the 50 billion of the grants, which is money they don't have to pay back. The other 150 billion is a set of loans which do have to be paid back, but on very friendly terms. These are single-digit interest rate loans that for micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises have to be paid back over a period of 3 years at a single-digit interest rate. While the larger manufacturing, large-scale industries for manufacturing loans are also single-digit interest rate, but are repayable for over a period of 5 years because they're higher. Just to be clear, the MSME loans they range from anywhere between 50,000 naira up to 1 million naira per MSME on a single-digit interest rate repayment over 3 years, whereas the large-scale industry that the president specifically targeted, because he recognizes that large-scale manufacturing industries are large-scale employers of labor. This is where you have thousands of families per industry being impacted on whether that industry is capitalized or not. So the president wanted to make sure that those families are protected by protecting the large industry. So he provided a single-digit interest rate of up to 1 billion naira, repayable over 5 years at a single-digit interest rate for the large-scale manufacturing industries. And I'm happy to report tonight that of the MSME interventions, we are at about 50%. Of the facilities being given out, and the website is still open. I believe is www.fedandgrant I believe I think it's something, let me just be careful. It's better that our people Google that, but I believe it's fedandgrant.gov.ng. But to be safe, I would ask our people to Google the website to be able to access that 75 billion naira MSME loan, because the portal for that intervention is still open, and the portal for the large-scale manufacturing loan is still open as well. But they're already being dispersed as we speak.
Thank you very much. Great conversation tonight. And it's always a pleasure speaking with you, Ngelale, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
A great privilege to be with you. God bless you and all of our people. Thank you.